In the last month, I pulled 100 health informatics and healthcare analytics job postings from LinkedIn, and I read every single one. Here's what nobody's telling you. Only 40 of them named SQL. Only 11 of them named Epic. And only 17 said anything about a master's degree. If you've been chasing that perfect stack before applying to a single job, I promise you this video is going to save you months of time. So there's the story people tell online about what it takes to break into this field. It goes something like this.
Master SQL, learn Python, get Tableau and Epic certified, get a master's, stack certifications, and then apply.
That's the YouTube narrative. That's where I've seen a lot online. But I wanted to know what the actual 2026 job market is asking for, and not what people say that it wants, what it literally says out loud in the job description. In this video, I'm going to go over the methodology, the 3 patterns that actually showed up in the data, the honorable mentions worth knowing, and exactly what to do with all of this information. Let's go. So here was my process. I pulled 100 postings from public LinkedIn listings. They were all US based, mix of remote and on-site, and there was a range of titles: health informatics analyst, clinical informaticist, healthcare data analyst, population health analyst, EHR analyst, healthcare economics analyst, and many others. About half of them were entry level, a third were mid-level, and the rest were senior. I deliberately excluded my own employer from the dataset and did not include any internal or non-public information. Everything in this video is based on publicly available listings. For each posting, I tagged whether specific skills, tools, and credentials were named: SQL, Python, R, Tableau, Power BI, Epic, Oracle Health, FHIR, which is Fire, HL7, AI, and machine learning. I also added AI governance, master's preferred, and any other listed qualifications. And in the end, 3 patterns jumped out to me. We're going to start off with the first surprise. Most postings did not name specific tools. Only 40 of 100 named SQL, 23 named Power BI, 21 named Tableau, 16 named Python, and 15 of them named R. That's it. The majority of postings did not specify any particular tool at all. They talked about data analytics, reporting, clinical workflows, stakeholder management, healthcare domain knowledge, without committing to a single stack. And when you think about it, guys, that is a completely different picture from what people online are probably showing you. If you scroll health informatics career content online, you'd assume every posting is a technical skills checklist. In reality, most hiring managers care more about whether you can think through a healthcare problem than whether you can name drop a tool. And here's what that practically means. If you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting to feel technically ready before you apply, you're probably overweighting the wrong thing. The hiring managers in this data are not grading you on whether you listed every tool on your resume. They want to know if you can understand healthcare, if you can analyze data, if you can communicate it back to the clinical or operational stakeholders. And that's the game. It's not a tool inventory. Pattern number 2. When postings did name specific tools, one combination showed up more than any other thing. SQL appeared in 40 postings, Power BI in 23, Tableau in 21. Together, SQL paired with at least one BI tool was the dominant technical footprint in the postings that specified anything at all. Python was at 16 and R was at 15. That to me screams that it was secondary. So if you're going to learn a specific stack for this space in 2026, here's what the data is actually telling you. You have to learn SQL, then add one business intelligence tool. Power BI edged out Tableau in this dataset, but honestly, either one is fine. Try to pick the tool the job you want is using. And yes, Python and R are worth learning, but they're not necessary right away. In this dataset, a candidate with strong SQL and solid Power BI or Tableau would be in contention for more roles than a candidate with strong Python alone. If your plan has been grind Python first and then learn everything else later, the data says flip that. One honest note, these counts reflect postings that name the tool in the description. Some roles that didn't name SQL probably still expected in the interview. So the real working expectation is likely a little higher than 40%. But even when you account for that, SQL is not the universal gatekeeper that people claim it is. Pattern number 3. This is the one that I want you to hear carefully. Only 17 of 100 job postings preferred a master's degree. And as someone with a master's degree in health informatics, that's a little defeating to hear. Only 22 of 100 listed any certification at all. And of those 22, the large majority were clinical credentials. The credentials were RN, RHIA, RHIT, CCS, Epic specific certifications, PMP, and understand this, out of all the 100 job postings, 0 of them referenced Coursera specializations, generic bootcamp credentials, or health informatics certificates from a continuing education provider. Think about what that means. If you've been spending money on stacked certifications hoping they'll add up to a job offer, the data doesn't support that path. I'm pretty sure hiring managers in 2026 are not reading your certificate list. They're reading your experience, your projects, and your ability to talk about healthcare. The credentials that did matter in this dataset were almost all field specific and hard to get without real experience. And typically, if you want an Epic certification, an employer has to sponsor you. RHIA and RHIT are HIM specific and require education. And RN, which is a registered nurse, is a clinical license. And these aren't things that you stack, they're things that you earn through a specific path. So here's the takeaway. Stop collecting credentials. You need to start demonstrating skills. A public LinkedIn post breaking down a clinical data concept, a GitHub project doing realistic healthcare analysis, which is what I did, a write-up explaining how you'd approach a specific problem. Any of those does more than 3 Coursera certificates. And a few smaller findings worth calling out. FHIR, which is FIRE, appeared in only 3 of 100 postings. HL7 appeared 5 times. And if you've been listening to the interoperability hype, understand that in the entry to the mid-analyst market today, these are mentioned far less than you'd expect. And that might certainly change, but right now, they're not the gate to entry. And Epic appeared in only 11 of the 100 postings. Oracle Health, which is previously Cerner, it appeared in 4 listings. EHR vendor specifically is much smaller in postings than online narratives suggest. The hospitals hiring Epic people typically already require Epic certification, and then the other 89 postings, they are more flexible about the EHR that you've worked in. And here's a part that I'm sure people are not going to be surprised to hear. AI and machine learning were mentioned in 14 postings. AI governance were in 6 of them. And if anything, that's a clear sign that AI and machine learning are becoming more in demand. And it's certainly worth positioning for, but it's not worth betting everything on. And 48 of the 100 postings were entry level. That's great news if you're trying to break in. It also means that there's real competition at the entry door. As you've seen on LinkedIn, within 2 to 3 hours, there's 100 people who have applied to the job. And I totally get it. It's super frustrating to see that. You're probably wondering,
how in the world is the employer even gonna see my resume?
So overall, that's good news, and it's tough news to take in at the same time. I'm gonna give you 5 things in order of priority. 1, learn SQL, then add one BI tool, which is Tableau or Power BI. That's the baseline. You have to absolutely learn those. And if you already have both of those skills, you're already ahead of most applicants. Number 2, stop waiting for the perfect technical stack before you apply. The data says most postings don't specify one. Apply with what you have and then learn on the job. Number 3, double down on healthcare domain knowledge. Understand clinical workflows, revenue cycle, quality measures, and regulatory basics. Having knowledge in the healthcare domain separates a general analyst from a health informatics analyst. Number 4, don't stack certifications. If you're going to earn one credential, make it something field specific and earned through real experience, not a $49 online badge. Number 5, keep an eye on AI literacy, but don't overinvest just yet. The signal for AI is certainly rising, but I want you to build a working understanding on what the tools do, where they break, how they're governed, and then come back in 6 months when the market moves even more. If you found that information useful, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. And I'm planning to run this analysis again in the future so we can watch the market shift in real time and see what else changes. And if you want the patterns that I could not fit into this video, which are the role by role breakdowns, the salary ranges, and what changed from the postings that I analyzed from last year, they're all in the Informatics newsletter. Link is in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Sharif. This is Informatics, and I'll catch you in the next video.